I believe this is a PrinceXizor. I think he's coming up. I think we watched it was him versus it was a ZvT. I think we watched him in Super Sugio. This is much better than last time. Yeah, double extractors, good. So far so good. What speed are we playing at? He's only 90, but he's 170 at the time. Would really like to see this overlord on a hotkey. That's probably the biggest concern for me at the moment. Apologies, the microphone's probably a little bit too far, and the dog's going off, which doesn't help. Morty! Can you not? Alright. What do we see? We see a bunker. Alright, so he's wasted 100 minerals on a bunker. We're building a CC, which I think is just kind of standard CC, and that's it. We haven't seen a Reaper touch our side of the map yet, which means he's probably not got a Reaper, right? So I think you can probably assume safely. Here we go. Sorry. So don't eyeball this. Make drones, because if you're going to lose this overlord, you need to make drones right now. Right? Ready? Here we go. Yes, we made drones. Our injects are late as hell. So just a little thing, right? You can hear during this the queen pop. Oh no, the queen didn't pop then. When did the queen pop? My bad. I heard the queen's popping. I thought it was, yeah, it was here. So, what do we say? We hear the queen's popping. The queen's popping is more important than this right now. Grab your overlord and send it here and pray that he just didn't, and he didn't see it, right? So the overlord has just a fraction more vision than he will. So this is important for you, that if you see something, you need to pull away quickly, right? Because how much time do we give it? Too much time. Wow. That was very quick by him. He was watching that. He was watching that screen as that happened. That's just kind of unfortunate, right? So we want to pull the overlord away. If it dies, whatever. What I like to do on maps like this is actually bring it up to here, because it's a bit awkward for the Marines to get around here, and sometimes you can actually dance it back and forth. It sounds silly. Dance it back and forth like this until it gets out over here. But what's more important right now is our queen's just popped. And we're just going to watch the energy build up. There we go. So 16 seconds late, 16 seconds late. It's a lot of time. So it's basically half an inject gone. We have 2 overlords building, which is beautiful. This is perfect. The Roach Warren's probably a little early. I don't know if this is a build order in particular or what, but I would probably say the Roach Warren is a little early, and this is like Lambo's 3 base thing. I mean, 2 player, but there's no 3rd. Did we get the overlord out? We got him out. He just didn't chase. So far, so good. And that's a really good scout too, I feel. We're seeing the factory picking up and move. We didn't realize it at the time, but we're seeing the factory picking up and move, which means he's not making Hellions, right? So we could probably drone a little harder for the next minute, because we're not going to get hit by anything, if that makes sense, right? If there's no Hellions coming, because he's picking up and moving it, right? So either he's got the Hellions and they're in his base now, or they're about to hit you. But either way, I think you could probably just drone off what you've got. You've got Queens out here. I think you'll be okay. And this tells you that he's just making Marines and he's swapping over to a tech lab. So he's going to start pumping Marine Cyclones and tanks or something. Why the fuck? Why have we pulled... When did we pull drones off here? Why on earth would we do this?
Our forces are under attack.
What happened? Oh no. Alright, so we need to saturate this again. As quickly as we can, right? We've lost 2 injects here, we're doubling them up, which is good. We've dragging them all back like that, like you fix the saturation here, which is fine, but now you've lost like 10 seconds here of like 6 drones mining. You've lost a drone picking them up and moving them from here to here, right? Just leave them where they are and just make more drones here. Like just what's your key? 4SD, 1, right click it here, and then go back to the rest of your game. Being oversaturated is not going to kill you either. So like if you're like 17, 18 out of 20 out of 16, it's not going to be that. It's not that big of a deal. The Terran's actually on a higher supply at the moment, and he's going to be ahead in economy thanks to a couple of mules. So we really need to be ramping up. And I think this is the problem with this delayed third, is it kills our economy. Right now is when the Terran is usually trying to push out or hurt us, and we're barely on even kill with the Terran's economy, right? So the slower this is, the harder it's going to be for us to get anywhere respectable. We got this, we got that coming. I'd love to see just 2 of these, because having Carapace is actually really good versus Bio, and at the moment it just looks like this is going to be a Bio player, so yeah, it's just something there. Spores at 430 should be a non-negotiable every single game. If you get in and you scout a tech lab, then put it in the middle of the mineral line. If you get in and don't scout a tech lab, then put it on the edge, like here or here, to prevent the Liberator coming in and doing this kind of stuff. If it was this base, you could put it here. This base is pretty much kind of, I mean, you could do there, or you could do here to prevent it coming in and trying to siege you up here. But the idea is, if we don't see a tech lab, we don't need to protect the mineral line itself, because a spore here is not going to do quickly enough to get rid of this. So now we are officially even with the Terran, which is not where we want to be. You're pumping out roaches on an even economy versus a Terran who's already done some harass. We just need to be droning. We don't not making roaches, right? He's got a handful of Marines heading out.
Our forces are under attack.
I'm feeling anxious, right? This is prime time for Terrans to start hitting us. And we're stacking up roaches on 2 base economy, basically. This is a problem. We're moving out. We don't know where he is. Luckily, he went home, right? Luckily, he went home. But he could have just as easily been here, and then he sees you attack his base, and then it's kind of up to the fates whether or not you win or lose, right? But the damage he'll get and the momentum that he'll have from these Marines is probably going to be significantly better than what you're going to have. So hopefully, when we take this fight with the Roaches, we just jump them in on top of him, and we kill him. Not like this, but that's good. Amazing. Amazing. Drones. Make drones behind this. This is drone time. And you know why this is drone time? Because you are floating a ton of money. You don't want to be making extra units to rally anywhere. You just want to saturate a whole base. So just spend all these drones, literally put them here, flick back home real quick, take this base, and then continue on with this. It's like a 3-4 second maneuver, but it's going to push you into the next level of economy. How this game... Alright, so what's happening here is we can feel, right, that the game's going to end. If we get up the ramp, the game's going to end. But you know what kills the game a lot quicker, guaranteed, is just removing the space. Pull this back. You can't see the tanks right now, right? Pull back and destroy all these SCVs. Halve his economy, literally cut his economy in half, and you're in an insane position on as a 3-base Zerg. But what I feel like we're going to do is we're going to sit here and eat tank fire. Here we go. We got it. So you can buy all the ramp if you want as well to prevent him from coming down. But just stay here for as long as you can and just prevent him having the space. Now go back to drone. Hydralisks, absolutely not. Don't follow his army. Don't follow it. Don't follow it. You could even take out the depots. Why are we leaving? How quickly until he goes back to mining? Literally instantly, right? You get out of vision and he goes back to mining. You lost 1,000 more resources than he did. He's on 1 less worker than you. But he's floating so much money as well. Like if he spends this money, if he spent his money as well as you spent your money, there's a no-brainer. This game's over. So building Hydralisks and Roaches, absolutely not it. You get ahead. We haven't got the upgrades for Hydras either, so we've built them before we've got the basic upgrades that make them remotely useful units. We saw the Liberator on the map come out. Where'd it go? Oh, he just rallied it to the corner. This fight, though... This is something we see a lot. This is your drone time. This is one Marauder and a bunch of SCVs. Has no business pushing you away from this objective. This is the game right here. You hold this, he's on 1 economy. You can do it. You could probably go to 80 workers off the back of this because he literally has like 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. He has 1 of every unit. He's dead. He's straight up dead, but instead of you realizing that this is your time to push ahead and get into a better economy, you go home for some God knows reason. Did you get Roach speed? You get Roach speed. And with that, he just continues to do what he was doing before. Right? Nothing changes for him. You took out his economy for a little bit. And then, yeah, I just don't feel like this was definitely not the play. And I'd love to hear when I speak to you why you thought you should leave here. Because you should, if you have literally a handful of units, just stay here until he forces you out. Yeah, surely he can't contain this. Holy crap. And now we lose. Now we lose everything. And we lose everything while taking an incredibly bad fight against a beefy as hell army. Liberator tank bio. And because we didn't drone up hard enough when we had the opportunity, we're going to get our fucking head kicked in. This is going to siege up. It's going to create problems. The tanks are going to siege up and create problems, and the bio is just going to chew you up slowly. You have 9 Hydralisks and like 17. You don't stand a chance. Each Marine is doing 10 DPS by default, and actually a little bit more now that he's got the upgrade. When they're stimmed, they do 15. This is... I don't even know how to do the maths, man. Surely this is something like 400... Not even that, right? Let me do some quick maths. Not quick maths. I'm using the calculator because I'm dumb. Times 15. It is 450. I was right. 450 DPS. So, give or take, like, you can kill a hatchery in 4 seconds, basically. Right? Queen, instant death. like 6 queens, it might take a couple of seconds to kill. Combined with the tanks and the liberators, nothing. And this is why bio tank is so good, right? Because you need to push through the bio to get to the juicy tanks. And so when he gets into a position like this, is basically GG, because there's nothing you can do here without supreme control or a nice like Ravager flank or something like that. So there you lost another couple of thousand resources. He lost sweet FA. Look at this. 7,000 to 11.5, right? He lost 900 resources to your 4. And I reckon what's really hard, what's really painful here, right, is like if this was me, I probably would have gone, what the hell, like where is all of his stuff? So you got kind of lucky that he wasn't here to begin with, but then we take this fight where we kind of have our units kind of weirdly exposed here. We get into this concave here. You're not adepts facing Zerglings here, so you can't just like cower into the mineral line and make it work. It doesn't work this way. Look at your units trying to squeeze through this one little gap. Your army value when you came in, it was even, which is not good. Right? Not good. Double lives as well is real dangerous. Alright, you've already lost like 1,000. It's a really bad fight to take. We're floating lava instead of making units. So what you could have been doing is making roaches right now. So go back home, do your injects. Your injects are good here, but again, this saturation sucks, man. These injects, this is why injects are important, right? You knew that you were attacking here. Let's have a look at this. This was super lucky, right? Because you were both here. You came in here. He's like, oh, damn, I gotta go home, right? You knew that you were attacking in this moment. You should have, when you were posted here, just before you went to attack, or even as you're rallying across the map. Let's look at this. Just something to think about in your games. You've only got +1 as well. He only has +1 too, but whatever. It's not really. Oh, I went back way too far. All right. So at this stage, you have rallied all your units down to here. This is prime time for you to just do a quick inject. We have got some injects stacking up, which is really nice, but we don't have a queen here. We do have a queen here, which is really good. So I'll give you that. They're already injecting, but that's because they've fallen behind already, right? So they're stacking them. Then when we come into here, though, I think this inject is about to wear off. We've got 3. We're going to have 4 injects worth by the time that kicks off. 4 injects worth almost here, and then no injects here. You have 3 queens. 1, 2, 3. The creep spread, not that important right now. This having lava is important. Because we're floating. When we realize that this is done, we should just like, yep, move them here and just A-move them and just see what they can do. And then you go back to make army. So if you're making army this whole time, you weren't floating an absolute shit ton of lava, you're generating no new lava during all this. So already, we're not generating lava. How long has it been since this hatchery generated legit, like true lava? There, right? 10:07. So sorry, 10:17. We drop a little bit down at 45, and then we're back up again because the injects pop off. This is all lost across the 3 hatcheries, huge. The idea is we need to get our economy into a position where we can bully our opponent, and that first attack was so good. I think almost everything up to here was really good. I just wish that we had taken this earlier and we could have absolutely spearheaded him here. Don't muck around with moving like clumps of drones from one base to another to fully saturate. Just build a drone and move them over. If the injects are more crisp, you obviously would have more stuff. What did you move out with? Here? Yeah. It's almost 1 roach for every... It's more than 1 roach for every unit. Alright? It's an absolute slaughter. Here as well, we want to... If we know we have... I don't know. I guess if the bio army looks like a third the size of yours, a quarter, even half the size of yours, walk up, a move next to it, and then run behind it, and just keep stutter stepping. A roach I think attacks every like 2 seconds or 1.5 seconds, so you kind of need to learn the timing of that. But the idea is you want to get on top of them. The Marines can't fight unless there's absolutely shit tons of them or they have tank support. Marines cannot fight this many roaches. They will just get swallowed. And that's exactly what happens here, see? All your roaches are getting DPS, and none of his stuff's getting DPS because it's dead. We need to, at this position, as soon as we realize we're not breaking up here, see how you tried to bile up here. You can't see it. You're more than welcome to obviously make an overseer if you think you're going to get in. Obviously, you didn't realize how well you were going, but at this stage here, pull down to the low ground now because you are losing very expensive units, right? Each one of these Ravagers is 100, and you would like to keep at least 3, so that if he does bring a tank down to where you can see it, you can actually just bile it down, and he will just never be able to replace his tanks if he keeps doing it. You just need to stay here while you drone up. This is where you lost the game. Absolutely where you lost the game. And then everything from this point on, because look how much money he's floating. He could drop like another 6 or 7 barracks and still be in a good spot. I love that he's still building supply depots, even though he has like 40 supply left. That's a man on a mission. So where are we? So here, you could have probably had this same army, maybe even bigger. This same army but bigger, ready to meet him here with a bunch of biles or whatever, and then this whole fight goes a lot better for you, right? He's on 30, he literally is half your economy. All you need to do right now is just hold this attack. But once he's sieged up and he's got 2 liberators, he's got 4, but I don't think he sieged them all, did he? He did siege them all, but didn't even need them. Literally didn't need them. And now game's over. You're losing your 3rd base. He's taking his 3rd base. Your units are scattered. They're not fighting well. Everything's over, basically. We're going to keep fighting because that's what ZvT just refused to quit, especially at this level. But yeah, we're well and truly dead. Now you can just slowly push the creep. I don't mind the counterattack. I think that's actually not a bad idea. But yeah, we can't get rid of the tanks. We can't fight in liberator zones with tanks. We're dead. Every Hydralisk that's making it through is coming out with absolutely no health either. Yeah, I mean ninja base, no. It doesn't, and this isn't good for Zerg, right? Because you can't defend this without investing into defending it as well. So the drone count here, I'm just going to have a look at something. I think that was really good for the most part. Damn it, I should have grabbed a screenshot real quick. Where did it go? I'm just going to pop it on in the background. And then I want to have a look at the stats for it. display capture. Upload. So, I don't care about that. Next set later. No idea what that's about. Bada bing, bada boom. File on. We're going to look at the inject efficiency. How many drones were we at? At 6 minutes. I think at like 2 minutes, we're at a good spot. We're basically looking to be at like 20 by 2, 30 by 3, 40 by 4, which it looks like you're pretty much hitting, right? And then at 50, you just like stop. We're floating an insane amount of lava, right? Look down here. Just look down here and watch this the entire time. Insane amount of lava. And then when we go through our resources, we're not really spending it either. And then when we have a fight, we forget to spend it, and then we go, oh, I'm going to spend our lava, and we spend it. He's constantly building up, right? And you're having these big spikes after a fight. Doesn't go your way. Less than half of your injects were good. That's a lot of time here. 4 minutes of injects that weren't any good. 2 minutes, 1, 5. A lot of time. You only had 3 hatcheries, and you missed more than half of your injects. It may sound brutal, but honestly, these are the kind of things that when you get on top of, everything's going to be a lot quicker for you and a lot easier for you. It's just one of those things, and I feel like, as I said, that attack into his natural, you just want to stay there. You don't want to give him his natural back. He needs to come down the ramp and take it from you. And behind it, you are droning up. You could have honestly gone to like 80 drones, taken the 4th base, gone to 80 drones, got your double upgrades going, and then just started pumping out roaches. So the idea is you just need two phases, right? You need drones and you need army. And whatever phase you're in, commit fully to it. If you are making army, do not make anything else but army. Obviously, overlords are an extension of that. So overlords and army, that's it. If you're in that first 5 minutes to 6 minutes, depending on how you scout, if he's on 2 base, whatever, if he's on 1 base, obviously a different story, but you just want to make drones. You only want to make drones and a handful of units to just keep you relatively safe for the start of it, and that's it. Everything else, falls to the back. Pulling the drones off here was just not great. And you built this spore at a reasonable time, but then didn't put the spores in a good spot because you didn't really know what he was doing, which is fair. But that's why we also have like a follow-up scout. So when this happened, you're only, like, realistically, you didn't lose a lot of stuff to this. But when this happened, I feel like you kind of just gave up on making drones, and you were just like, I'm just going to all in now because I suffered too many losses. 6 drones, honestly, is not that big of a deal. You could have easily recovered. I've won plenty of games versus Terran where I have lost the entire natural mineral line or my 3rd mineral line to Hellions, and then come out of it because I just droned harder. Because if they're not going to push you a second time with something else, then you can just drone straight back up, and there's nothing they can do to punish you, really. If they don't want to punish you, they're not going to punish you. So sometimes I feel like it's just worth taking that gamble. I feel like if you had have taken that gamble just a little bit here, you would have been a lot better off. Like 5 or 6 extra drones here. This attack was so monstrous. This dude had no idea, right? This is what is going to happen, right? As you get higher, Terrans aren't going to be floating this. This is going to be army that's sitting here ready to go. So instead of this many Marines, you're going to be facing like an extra 30 Marines here. So you need to make sure that you're doing your part by spending your money well. Ravagers are literally so sick. That's cool as hell, man. So if that makes sense, so when you get to this stage, when you get higher up, your opponents are gonna be floating no money either, and that's because they're spending theirs, which means they're ahead, and that's basically how it crumbles. So we want to move up. We want to get on top of this as quickly as we can. And then we want to go. We want to just be on top of it, take over the natural, and force him to take it off you. While he's trying to take it off you, you just drone up. Legitimately, you drone up. You've got a whole mineral line with the drones, with the lava here, sitting here. You can take it forth. If you get into them and pressure and kill their economy and their army, which you are doing right now, this is a huge drone window. Huge drone window. And you have +1 as well. He doesn't even have +1 yet. Right? Terran's supposed to be ahead in the economy and in the upgrades as well. So, yeah. I just think you had that game by the balls, and then you just like, you can have your natural, mate, no worries, we'll forget about it. And then he came back and punched you in the mouth, and you're like, hang on, I let you have your natural back, what's going on? So, yeah. The injects were rough, but I think if you just spent your money while you're taking... Look at this fight, right? Look how small his army value is. You double his army value, you walked in and absolutely destroyed him. Then we tried to fight up the ramp. And then we left. We went home, and then his army value is now starting to skyrocket above yours because he's spending his money. And that's all it is. So, yeah. Injects, important. Knowing when to drone, important. And don't let them have their natural back. If you have, Jesus, 27 kills. If you have their natural, do not give it back to them. Under any circumstances. Do not give it back to them. So that's it. Bada bing, bada boom. Thank you very much. See you on the next one.